Hey everyone, how's it going? Elliot here and welcome to the Retro Future. I'm very excited today because I was recently sent by Retro Modding a bunch of stuff to build the ultimate Game Boy Color. I've been seeing a bunch of pictures floating around of a screen that seems to be bigger than the normal one, the original Game Boy Color screen, and that excites me a lot. When these screen mods first came out, the screens were smaller than the actual Game Boy Color screen, and obviously some company has found a new panel and then they've made a custom ribbon cable to interface with the Game Boy, and now we have a bigger screen than the ever before, so that's exciting. Retro Modding have picked a nice color for me, purple and green, so we're going to be building a really cool Game Boy Color. Without any further ado, let's get into it. So one of the really cool things about this mod is they've included this, which I have never ever seen before, but it says on it GBC LED, and it looks like the button contacts of a Game Boy. So presumably this is going to somehow sit on the motherboard and then light up the buttons. So they've included, I've noticed, transparent buttons. So I don't really know what to expect here. I've never even seen this mod before. So let's take a look at it together. This is the screen mod. I'm fairly certain these aren't that much different in price to previous ones, but I'll whack the price up on the screen right now. Right, let's get this out. Okay. Oh geez, there's quite a lot going on here. So there's the glass lens. That hasn't got the Game Boy Color logo on there, but I have seen ones that do. Right, and then we've also got the panel, which is very big. And there's a ribbon cable. Okay, there's lots going on here. What have we got? We've got an adhesive pad. I never like to use these, but maybe we have to with this one. There's the ribbon cable. Often these are the most expensive parts of the entire thing, so be very bloody careful with that. We've got two wires. We've got one white one and one blue one, and then that looks like a little touch sensor thing, so there must be some sort of a brightness option. We've got another wire, so there's three wires going on. Okay, getting a bit confusing. And then we've got the actual panel itself, which looks very nice. Okay, awesome. Right, well, that is quite scary. There is quite a lot going on here. We've also got this shim piece thing, which is 3D printed. And then there's some more 3D printed things. Let's get into it. So for this mod, I'll be using a Game Boy that was sent into my PO box, which I have already refurbished. It's not in the best shape, but it works very well. Taking this thing apart is simple. 6 tri-wing screws on the shell and 3 Phillips screws on the motherboard. Unlatch the ribbon cable and pull out the board. Let's take a look at the shell. So as the new screen is bigger, we will need to cut up the shell. I'll leave links to written tutorials if you plan on doing this mod yourself. Retro Modding sell these trim guides, or if you have a 3D printer, they offer the file for free. I used a knife to score where I needed to trim, and used my flush cutters. We need to remove this LED since there's a new one on the LED kit. Line it up and solder the 2 points to either end of the cartridge connector pins. It looks damn cool. I used some Kapton tape here just to prevent the new LED from shorting. Solder the 2 long wires included with the screen to P12 and P13. This is for the start and select. I'll explain why in a minute. These wires then go to the corresponding pads on the ribbon cable. The short blue wire goes to the power pad, and this wire is then soldered to the pad labelled C on the power switch. The touch sensor is then soldered to the other pad on the ribbon cable. It's a good idea to test everything now, making sure the screen aligns in the shell. Retro Modding did send me an alignment spacer, which I found after I had put the whole damn thing together. Whoops. Funny Playing make a transparent speaker which will just finish this whole thing off, remove the old one and solder this in. Then it's time to close it all up. And this is the final result. Absolutely stunning. The backlit LED buttons look fantastic. Probably better if you had an opaque shell and transparent or translucent buttons. The screen quality is just absolutely flawless. There's no faults with it whatsoever. Holding down start and select will allow you to go through different scan lines and modes to enable pixels so you can have an authentic feel to the original Game Boy. But yeah, this thing is beautiful. There we go. What does everybody think? I'm not totally sure on the color combination. It's not my kind of thing. Obviously, I just let Retro Modding send me whatever they thought, and it does still look beautiful. But I probably wouldn't go for such a mix of colors. It's a little bit bold for me. I think maybe it would have looked a lot better having an opaque shell and then the backlit buttons. But yeah, I mean, it's still, I can totally see why this would be an appealing Game Boy because it looks absolutely beautiful. I've left the sticker off the back. Some people like putting that sticker back on. I know maybe it looks a little bit more complete, but with a transparent Game Boy, I think it just looks better off. I've got an EverDrive X7 in there as well to allow me to play all of my different Game Boy games on the go, which just finishes the whole thing off really, doesn't it? To be able to take your whole games library with you. The touch sensor on the top works fantastically. It's a little bit finicky sometimes, but you are going through plastic. But yeah, that works perfectly well. And as I said there at the little sequence that I had, when you hold down the start and select, you can enable different scan lines. It's going to be quite hard for you to see them. This is probably the nicest way to play your original Game Boy games. The bigger screen is fantastic. You're not losing anything. Nothing is being sacrificed by having that bigger screen, other than maybe authenticity, which I'm sure some people are going to be conscious of. But yeah, what a stunning way to play your Game Boy games. Rechargeable batteries in there. The LEDs aren't really going to deplete your battery life that much because they're LEDs. Stunning. The final thing, just to finish it off, is a little neoprene case that Retro Modding sell on their website as well. I'll leave links obviously to Retro Modding. This video is not sponsored, they don't pay me, but obviously they do send me this stuff for free, and it is quite expensive, so thank you very much. But there we go, that is that. I really hope everyone has enjoyed this video. A really cool mod. Nothing too difficult. The LED buttons were very simple to install. It's all a little bit fiddly to just put together, you know. There's so many things dangling off and whatnot, so it is a little bit on the fiddly side, but it's definitely not that difficult. And we have come a long way from having to peel off reflective films and polarizers and all of that malarkey. Definitely the hardest thing is cutting up the shell. Sometimes Retro Modding have a pre-trimmed shell thing that you can buy, but yeah, that's going to wrap it up there. Really hope you've all enjoyed. If you did, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section below. Please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.